Hello, hello, hello. Top of the morning, evening, afternoon. Oh, I should have probably started with this. That's the one I should have probably started with. How is everybody doing? Top of the morning, evening, afternoon, and good night to one and all. I wanted to share something, right? Because you guys know that I've been covering this Trump Epstein thing or the Epstein list for, oh God, I don't know, the past month and a half. I've been absolutely infatuated, doing research all over the place, watching YouTube videos, finding news media outlets that are talking about it, and I found something that I think is so fascinating. Now, I cannot find a YouTube video on it. I can't find a live on it. It was very difficult for me to find. But that being said, I want to share this because I think that this is absolutely ridiculous. Um, so everybody has this, even myself has this preconceived notion that the reason why the list will not get dropped is because Trump's name is on it. I don't think it's that simple, right? Well, we're about ready. I'm about ready to share that Trump's name is on it, and that's not some horseshit. But that we'll go into that in a second. But I don't think it's that. I think that there are other big people on there, and if you were to remove certain names, some of those big people would say, "Hey, these names are on it as well. I don't know why you wipe them out because they're clearly still around." So I don't think it's that simple. And obviously there's that next question is if he was on the list and he did go to the island, what in fact did he do? Now, I am one of the people that think the island only had nefarious things. I do not think that there were regular parties like champagne parties or I just don't. I find it very hard to believe that there is zero footage out there. Okay, because even if you go to 2010, there were iPhones out, there were Androids. Okay, 2011, 2012, 2013, all the way up until he got locked up. They all existed, but there is zero footage of anything that ever happened at that house. Right? Like to me, that is I got nothing, or on that island, I got nothing. So I think only negative stuff happened. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I want to share this. So check this out. This is a little article on Newsweek, right? It says on Monday, that's yesterday, President Donald Trump told reporters that his name may have been planted in the Epstein files by former Attorney General Merrick Garland on former FBI. See that right off the jump, this tells me if Trump is coming out saying my name was planted on there, you're doing like an alley oop. Like you're gonna try to explain. Well, you're trying to do damage control before the damage is even started. Well, I mean, it started already. So you saying that my name has been planted on there is kind of like, do I believe that it was planted? No. Trump was asked in Turnberry, Scotland. You had said you had not been briefed that your name was in the Epstein files. Doesn't the AG have to tell you? President responded in part, "Well, I haven't been overly interested in it. It's a hoax that's been built up by those way beyond proportion. Those files are run by the worst scum of the earth. They were run by Comey. They were run by Garland. They were run by Biden. These files are run for years by those people. The whole thing is a hoax. They ran the files. I was running against somebody that ran the files. If they had something, they would have released. If they had something, they would have released." Mm, I don't know about that because there are people from the other side that are also on that list that don't want to be part of that. Trump also referenced and discredited uncorroborated claims on the Steele dossier collection of unverified intelligence reports. Okay. Commission of the. That's about Russia. I really don't care about that. He continued, now they can easily put. Okay. Trump was also asked again Monday about the possibility of pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell, reiterating that he is allowed to do so. We covered this already. Maxwell, a close associate of Epstein, the late financier, and convicted. So, okay, was convicted. Okay, I'm allowed to give her a pardon. Why it matters? Recent Trump's. Okay, so I guess really the rest of the article doesn't matter. I just think it's interesting that he's saying that his name, not Donald Trump told that his name may have been planted in the Epstein files. What I think is going to happen is probably in the next, oh, I don't know the way that this is going, in the next 2 weeks. maybe a month. I mean, that's really stretching it. What's going to happen is that list is going to drop, and there's going to be names. Oh, buddy. There might be some redacted, kind of like the JFK files, right? There's going to be some names redacted because these are like the elite of the elite. Assuming that it gets dropped and Trump's name is going to be on it, right? Because if he's saying that his name was planted, okay, why didn't you say that 4 days ago? Why didn't you say that 2 weeks ago when Pam Bondi had said on national TV that she has the list of names, that she has the Epstein list? I mean, it was pretty damn clear. Everybody saw that. Why didn't you say it then? Why didn't Trump come out then and say that my name has been planted on that? It's because you're getting a lot of shit from both aisles. And if you do not release this list, it's just going to look bad. Here's my question, though. Let's just say this list does, in fact, come out and his name is on it. What now? What happens at this point? Because I know that there's a lot of die-hard Trump supporters. Would you still support a man that has some type of thing going on with Jeffrey Epstein that I'm sure we will never know about? No? Your answer is probably yes, right? Okay. But usually, what's fascinating to me is the conservative side is usually very diehard against anything related to children, um, anything. Why is that an exception? I think that's the better question is why is that now acceptable? I, and then I think whatever happens after that, what do you, I think they're going to try to impeach him. I don't even know how you fix the situation. I really don't. I really don't. And that's the thing, man. When you go into the political field, right, they're going to find stuff on you. Like, I know that if I ever got in the political field, there is so much stuff out there that I've said on my videos. I'm sure somebody has saved at some point. It would destroy my future career as a political person. It would. It would. Like I was watching something this morning. Let me get my earbuds in. I can't share it because it's gonna get flagged because it's not my content. But there is a video I was watching this morning on YouTube's. It was an individual saying, showing all the clips of things that Trump has said in regards to his daughter and whatever. But how he saw a little girl going up an escalator, and he was like, "In 10 years, I'll be dating her," and she was 10 years old. You know, I don't know. I don't know how you put that into any context to where that's okay. But for some reason, people were so focused on, Biden sniffing hair, but now this is totally different, right? This is look at the other people that have been associated with Epstein. Look at Ghislaine Maxwell. That's about the only person we know that's associated with Epstein. But she's locked up. Why is nobody else? If he knew all these people in the black book and in the address book, why is nobody else in jail? Yeah, even Andrew, right? Andrew paid an unsettled amount to that goofy girl. I cannot remember her first name. I do apologize for that. Andrea or something. Paid an undisclosed amount. So, okay, you're admitting your guilt. They exiled him from the royal family. That's whatever. So I guess that's some type of punishment. But what about everybody else? There's got to be at least 30 other people. And when this list comes out, are now the public going to demand some type of retribution's not the right word. Are they going to demand some type of you got to lock these people up? I think this is big, man. Like this is huge. This isn't just some conspiracy theory about Trump. He's out here saying that his name has been planted on the list. So you're saying that you're on the list. I mean, that I don't know how else to word that. If I say that my name has been put there, it's obviously on it. My name has been planted. It's obviously on it. So, I don't know where you go from here, man. It's tough. It's a bad look. You're gonna have to come out and say, "Look, we had huge sex parties there." But you know where that's going to go, right? People are going to be like, sex parties, but who? Look at the whole situation with Puff Daddy. It is crazy that you look at these people with all. I guess it's not crazy. I was going to say it's crazy that you look at all these people with all this money. I mean, you could have anything in the world, and I guess that's the point, right? As I can do anything in the world. Well, apparently, no, you can, because you have people that. Honestly, I don't think Trump had anything to do with Epstein's death. Anything. Like 0%. Nothing. Zero. Literally. I get it that he was, he's the president. It's a federal president. I get all that. No, no. Mm. No, I don't think so. I think it's more along the lines of another family. But and every person that gets involved in this, right? They either hide or they get locked up or they disappear. Uh, that tells me people with a lot of power, with a lot of money, and a lot of responsibilities don't want those things to go away. So we get rid of the protagonist. And if there are a lot of people, I'm not saying that you should stop supporting Trump. That's not what I'm saying, right? Because even if the name comes out on the list, you don't know why it's on there. But now everybody's gonna run amok, right? Because now you said that it wasn't on there. Now you're saying it's planted on there. It doesn't look good. It doesn't. I don't know why, but I cannot find that video of him saying that. Like all I could find is the article of it. I think it's just absolutely bonkers, man. I really do. No, no, I do not believe it was planted. I think at this point, if someone says or if someone believes, oh yeah, Trump's name was planted, I don't believe that. I think that's ridiculous. That someone would go into a file. Let's just say it's 100 pages, right? Whatever. Let's just say it's 5 pages. Let's go ridiculous. It's 5 pages of names. That's a lot of names, by the way. Depending on the size of the font, unless it's like 48 pixels. But if people are very quick to defend this situation, they're very quick, and they're going to say, you know what? It's no big deal. It happened years ago. I agree. I agree. It does. But when you hold a position of power, right? You're going to be looked at underneath the microscope. And if you are the way Trump is, and this is crazy because he can't say it's the other side. He can't say it's the Democratic because we know for a fact, like for without a shadow of a doubt, that Bill Clinton was on that island. We know for a fact, right? Flight logs. I think there's admission of from Bill Clinton or somebody. So we know for a fact that he's been there. That's Democratic Party. Okay, so it's not it's bipartisan, man. It doesn't matter. It's just as long as you have money. I don't think when they go on that island, they're talking about who's running for senator. So if people believe that his name was planted, you have 5 pieces of paper, right? That big, beautiful papers, and they're all written, and it's files. You think that they went back in, right? Or these names of whatever, whoever wrote this. I honestly have no idea what the list is. I'm assuming it's just a bunch of names, right? So then what? And then the person that planted the name looked at what you did at this time to make sure that you were there at that time, that you didn't have a motive, or I'm sorry, an alibi. Is that it? Because I find that very hard to believe. You're saying your name was planted because when the list comes out, you have to somehow start collateral damage before the damage has been done. The problem is there's already enough of damage out there on the internet that's already hurting him. It's a shame, man. I get it that all politicians are they do shitty shit. Rich people do shitty things. I am interested to know as to what his response is going to be. Is he going to say that he was never there? Is he just going to stick to his guns? I was never there. Because all rich people look. I would, in all defense, Trump wasn't really rich. He never really was. You want to watch a good thing on Trump? Watch the I think it's Dirty Money or Bad Sport, the Trump episode. Never really been rich. He had his dad bail him out of his whatever. That's no, it's not really the point. The point is what are people gonna say, man? What are they gonna say? Marvin J, I know you from somebody else's channel. What's up, man? Yeah, I just don't know. To me, it's fascinating that you have people that are diehard Trump, and no matter what happens with this list, is I support this guy. Do you though? So okay, but you're the same guy that says that offenders. I'm gonna be very careful in my words here. Offenders should get the death penalty. But now that there's a doubt, right? There's a shred of doubt in there. What do you think should happen? What do you think? Of course he was in the of course he was in the circle. I think well, yeah. Okay, I get where you're going with that, Jawad, is that you're saying that he was in the circle, so of course he's there. Hmm. I'm not saying that Trump didn't have money, right? That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that yes, he was in that circle with those people. So now you have to come out and say this is what happened at the circle. And you're going to have to prepare for that. You cannot say that it is a lie. All it sounds like I'm anti-Trump and I'm pro-liberal or pro-democratic. I'm not. I am on the fence. I'm the center guy. Okay, what's best for the country? All all you do is lie, right? Politicians come in. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Trump's going to say vape and this and that, and I'm not mad about that. Whatever. Um, you say all these things. Now you're underneath the microscope because your name will be on the list. What are you going to do with that? Are you going to deny it? Yeah, of course. I mean, he's already denying it. It's not even out. So, yes, that is what he's going to do. Deny it. Something at some point in time, whether that is, what is the saying? That all dirt floats to the top? What is that? There's a saying. The laundry dirt. The dirt of the laundry floats to the top. There's a saying in there somewhere. But if oh God, that's gonna bother me now. All the dirt eventually sinks. I don't know. But the point I'm trying to make is at some point in time, somebody is gonna come out with something, whether it is you saw the thing with the letter that Trump sent over to Epstein. He's like, I don't draw pictures. But you guys remember in the early 90s or early 2000s, early 90s, early 2000s with AOL, how you would get like those emails and it would be a picture with their boobs, but it'd be like all T's or all I's. So it's like one of those. 50th birthday to Epstein, and it's like a weird photo of some shit. And he's like, I don't draw. So he denied it. But now Trump is suing I think it's Washington Post over it, saying that I didn't do that, released a letter. Well, Murdoch, the guy that runs Fox News Network and Washington Post, right, is the one that essentially said, yeah, you can put it up on the site. Keep in mind, this guy was sued over the Dominion voting. He has lost hundreds of millions of dollars. So the fact that the president now is trying to sue him for releasing this, well, not releasing this letter, but saying that this letter does exist, this guy has been sued and has lost in court. So he is very much aware, excuse me, he is very much aware of what he is doing. But Trump even wants to say that that's a lie. Everything is a lie. When are you going to start taking responsibility? I mean, you are the president, so just deny everything, I guess, until somebody comes out with some shit, right? Someone is, as I was saying, someone's going to come out, whether it's 5 years, 3 years, a year, 6 months, someone somewhere is going to come out with some shit that is, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And if you can prove that he was there, It does not matter why he was there. I don't care if he's there for a business meeting. You're saying that you were never there. Okay, great. If there is something that shows that you were there, it's one thing you lying and you're not doing it. It's another when you lie it and it's another when you lie about something you're going to save or you're going to do and you don't do it. It's whatever. It's another when you say, I didn't do that. And then there's proof that you did do that. Okay. That is a 100% blatant lie, right? Like there is evidence. No, you were there. Uh-oh. Now what? I'm just saying. My thing, since Trump is a real estate guy and a rich dude, who's to say he was not there just trying to think of a bit? Again, Chris, I'm not saying that he was there doing bad shit, right? I said that in the beginning about there's nothing, I don't think that anything happened on Epstein that was not nefarious or deceptive or a lie or against the law. I think everything that happened on that island, he could have been in Palm Beach, right? And his house is Palm Beach. He could have been in New Mexico. He could have been in the, where's the other one? Shit. Oh, God. New Mexico, Palm Beach. There's another one in the state somewhere. New York, I think Manhattan. He could have been in any of those places. The fact that you went to a different island, okay, that still essentially belongs to the United States. Why? Why? So even if he was there for real estate, which I don't believe it. Okay. Can't believe we're having this conversation. Trump's real estate expertise is equivalent to my expertise in changing my tampons. That's where I'm. Again, watch Dirty Money or Bad Sport with Trump. Watch it. Watch it. You're this shit that the media has or Trump has led you to believe about how successful Trump was. Trump was doing Big Mac commercials. Okay, so I really suggest again, I'm not talking bad about Trump because I think Trump is a decent guy, right? I think he's the best president we could have had the past 8 years. 16, 12. No, you're not 16, 12 years, right? Yes, I think that is a very good statement. Yes. But his past now is coming back to haunt him. Okay. So you need to come out with some shit and say something as to why you're there. I don't care now. Don't say your name's been planted because if you say that, you're saying that, oh, I was never there. If some shit comes out and you're still alive when it comes out, or you're still in office, or I don't know because when he dies, if something comes out, it's going to haunt his son, right? It's just gonna it's gonna be like this revolving circle of just take the responsibility, bow out, or you know what, hold your chin high and say I was there because I was interested in the breed of grass that he was growing. Because just I don't know, make some shit up because you said you weren't there. Now you were, or you weren't. I don't know. I don't know anymore. It's just all fascinating to me. All right, I got multiple comments I want to read here. Also, if you know people you hang out with them and something bad comes out, you're guilty by association. Yes, even if you, even if a crime is committed, right? There are crimes, right? What is it? Knowing blindfold blindfold willingness or something. He could still be charged with a crime, right? The problem is none of these people that are on this list are going to get charged with any crimes. You could forget that. If the idea of this list and we're going to start charging, you're not the law, right? What are you going to do? You going to demand that they get locked up? Oh, okay. Okay. Just let go, man. There's nothing you're going to do. It's over. So that's going to get you nowhere. So what happens? I don't know. You got to say some shit. I think it's blind for willingness or something. It's something weird where what is it called? Hold on. Blindfold willful blindness. Blindfold willingness can be understood in different contexts related to the concept of consent and liability in various situations. Willful blindness in legal context, separate but relevant. While not directly related to physically blind, the concept of willful blindness is an important legal doctrine in criminal law. Willful blindness refers to a situation where a person deliberately avoids learning about illegal activities or facts that would establish their knowledge of a crime, despite being aware of the high probability of such activities or facts existing. The doctrine essentially allows courts to impute knowledge to a defendant who purposely ignored information that would have made them aware of wrongdoing. This can be used in cases of corporate liability, for example, where a company avoids investigating a potential illegal conduct. In essence, while blindfold itself is not inherently illegal, the contents of which it occurs, particularly right. So, if you knew that something was going on there, you didn't say shit. It's against the law. It's like guilty by association type of shit. Again, I'm not saying that he did something, but you're out there telling people that your name was planted. So somebody believes you're on that island, or they're trying to frame you. I'm telling you, don't let no shit get out. Bush had 8 years. Obama had. Let me. I'm sorry. I got to read this comment. Bush. Bush had 8 years. Wait. Yeah, Bush had 8 years. Obama had 8 years. Biden's had four. Trump has had four too. But unlike the rest, he actually started pulling back the curtain. Look. We're not debating what Trump has done as success for a president. I'm not debating that. This really has nothing to do with his presidency. It has to do with something that he said he wasn't part of, but clearly he is. It's quite literally that simple. It has nothing to do with the laws, the policies. I mean, he passed more laws when his first term than he is now. Now he's just doing executive orders left and right, but that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna have to agree with you, Burning Beard. I have to agree. I think that if you're going on that island, you're not going there for a champagne party. That's that. That's where you would go to the house in West Palm Beach, right? Or you go to the place in Manhattan or New Mexico. All right, me going to an island. It's one thing if I go to an island for a vacation. Oh man, I'm gonna go to Aruba, whatever, Bermuda, the Virgin Islands. It's another when you're going to a place that's secluded, and it's all rich people. That's fine too. But then, like, let us know. Why can't you let us know who's been on that island? Is it because of what Epstein's been charged with, and you don't want? Let's just say, for argument's sake, let's just say Epstein's still charged, but that island, nothing negative happened there. Why can't you list the names of people? So you could assume and say, well, you know what? These are rich people. They don't want any association with that. It's just bad publicity. I'm not buying that. Sorry. I don't buy that. It's just bad publicity. We were there. We were there for good times. We ate burritos and had Cajun shrimp. So, yeah, but we don't want any association. Yeah, okay. Drop the names. I would come out if I was a billionaire. Like, listen. I'm not going to speak for nobody else. But let's just say I'm a billionaire. I was on that island. I can tell you what I'd be doing right now. Here's the deal. Listen, I know you guys are digging into this list. It might take 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. I was there. I was there back in 2014. He invited me by. There was some freaky shit happening. Mm, listen, I gotta go. This isn't my. I brought my dog, my two cats, my wife, my kids, and I wasn't expecting this type of activity situation. So I'm gonna get on a helicopter and I'm gonna go. Okay? See you later. I would tell the people that. Saying that you've never been there and some shit comes out that you were there, you look like a fucking idiot. Sorry for the language. That's all I'm saying. You look stupid. You're hiding something. That's all. Oh, it's willful ignorance. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. If France is the other one too, right? I was looking at that thing. I don't know if you guys saw that. The Outside of Society. No, I think it was pulled, but the Outside of Society that I showed. There's a video out there. You have to YouTube this. I can't show you because YouTube doesn't like me sharing somebody else's content. But there is a thing where they track all the cell phones, right? What would you do? So that list, the cell phones, right? That Wired acquired. So if you haven't seen the video, I'll just give you a TLDR. Basically, there's this company, I think it's called Near, Near. Okay. They grab all the logging of phones, like wherever they travel, like through data logging. Okay. This was public domain. For whatever reason, it wasn't secured. Wired got a hold of this, and it is accurate. It is authenticated. It's real. It's not some conspiracy theory that somebody's going to be like, oh, this is made up shit, right? But now if certain names were dropped on that, oh, this is made up. This is for framing. It's fake news. Everything is fucking fake news. I will agree that news now is not what it should be, but that is irrelevant. So all these cell phones were on this island, okay? What would you do if one of those phones were old boys? Now what? Now what? So much for your name being planted because those names, and they said specifically in that video, whether this is true or not, I don't know, that they didn't release the list of names. Now, if you could track those names, because they track them to their houses. So that wouldn't be you could go on Zillow and see who bought a house. It's not difficult to figure out who bought houses and where and who lives there. That is very easy. So I mean that's just peoplefinder.com. But if if you track phones going to certain areas throughout the states, you don't want to release it because there's victims. I get that. But you could siphon through those whatever. I don't know how many phones it was. I don't think they actually said it in a video, but we'll just assume it's 1,000. You could get the names from that, but obviously even Wired didn't want to drop the names for that. Why? Why? Because maybe one of the people that Wired went there. This is much bigger than I think what most people are looking at it. You know, you're looking at it through like stained glass. It's very. I don't want to say it's convoluted. There's a lot of people involved. There's a lot of cogs in this machine, and if one part of that machine goes away, well, then the whole machine crumbles. But we're not talking about sin, David. I don't know why you're bringing God into it. I look at it like, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. I I don't I don't I don't think it has anything to do with that. We're talking about someone that's the president of the United States trying to cover up some shit. I don't think anybody's passing judgment. It's why are you hiding something? It's a question. It's not a judgment call. Um, yes, I think it is both sides, and that list cannot get out for a lot of reasons. Whether stocks would plummet, I don't see how because all rich people are involved. And you know somebody that has not been there and they have a friend that has been there, they know that that friend has been there, right? Let's just say I have 10 billionaire friends. We're all hanging out at my house drinking White Claws and I don't know, doing silly shit, running around with hot dogs in our asses. It's just what we do. You know, about that. Remember that one senator, Mr. Hands? I don't Google that. Mr. Hands, they do some weird shit, right? So we're all sitting around, and I know that George, right, he's taking a hot dog out of his butt. He's about to get on a plane. He's going over to the island. He's like, Jam, I'm going to the island. You want to come? No, I'm good. I don't, that's not my field. I don't like that. So there's other people that also know who has been there. Family members, wife, I don't know. Just pick people. The maid, right? Somebody knows something. It's just a matter of time. Someone on a deathbed somewhere is going to have it on an iPhone or their computer or an Android. Here's the video. You've asked for the past 20 years. It's not like the JFK situation, right? You had the gas stations with cameras or filmmakers. But what you didn't have was everybody that had some type of recording device on them. Now you do. Back then, during this whole situation, you do. Do I think billionaires, millionaires were out there with their phones recording shit? No. But I do think that there is footage somewhere of something that somebody is hiding. Whether that is fearful of their life, whether that is whatever. Yeah, and you know what? I don't think there should be accountability for Rich. Obviously, you got to the point that you're at today because of what you've done. Wh- that's whatever. That's on you. I don't think you should tax the rich even more, but that I don't know how you get yourself out of this. Then again, I'm not in his position, and nor will I ever be. I've never been. I have a fun story for you guys, though. There was a time where I had an individual that came to my job. Swear to God, true story. This guy comes to my job at Vape Life in Edison, and he was kind of close to me. He was idolizing me, right? He was big into vaping. This guy's a millionaire. Okay, I'm not gonna get into his name. I'm not gonna do any of that. Very rich, wealthy guy. He asked me. He says, "Hey, man, I actually still have the text message in my phone. Hey, man, um, or maybe I don't. I think I do. Hold on a second. I'm gonna get called by the FBI or something. I have this. I have the text. Hold on. So check this out. True story. Here's the text. Ready? When I get the carbon fiber shell, this is February 3rd, 2021. When I get the carbon fiber shell, we're talking about the deception. Anybody knows me, I'm into vaping, whatever. Cool, thanks, bud. What's the timing? This is him. I was going to text you. I'm thinking of a trip down to Bahamas next weekend for some diving fishing if you want to join us. Next weekend, got a major dental work going on. Holy shit, that was quick. Damn. About a month out. Don't re-mention that anywhere. On the month, no worries. Yeah, sometimes next March, like 30 or so days out, I'll keep you in the loop. Okay, well, next trip we plan, if you're in, if you want to join us, bud, would be glad to have you. Um, yes, if you let me know, not a week out, LOL. I'm sorry to do a lot of this stuff last minute. I'll plan something for March if you can get away that weekend. I gotta be careful what I say here. Hold on. I have a nice okay, so it's all good, brother. April would be the best, but I'm doing the bash, which is kind of a big deal. However, I'm not sure I'm doing it this April. It's Memorial Month, my daughter that died, but let me get back to you. I have a nice boat in Bahamas. It's a good way to de-stress. We get Russian visitors there. Wink. Okay, bro. All good when you're ready to have time. March, I'm down. You need me to have a passport? No, man. Private jet to a private island. You're good. Swear to God. Um, you think I make this shit up? Wow. I should blur out his phone number, shouldn't I? Could I could I bring a woman or is it just all dudes? I can send something where you could bring a woman to different trip. Just let me know some good dates for you in the future and we will set it up, bro. His phone number's on the top. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know. See, like I feel like if I would have went, that's some other shit. That's even if that's let's just say, for example, that that's not what the island is he's talking about, right? Let's just say that it's not. That tells me that there are other islands where some other shit happens. I am so glad I didn't go on that trip. But that just goes to tell you that there are wealthy people that do some bad stuff. And well, I don't know if it's bad because those Russian visitors could be 21, right? I don't know. Could be like a Fire Island type deal. Yeah, I didn't read too far into that, Brie. I'm not gonna read the whole thing because I think that there's any correlation between that and that? No, I don't. Well, I don't know. I have no idea. It's just a weird situation. And whatever he does, he's gonna have to figure it out and come out with it. All right. Didn't they say they had like 300 gigabytes of evidence? That's to include. Yeah, I think there's a good argument there though, Burning Beard, about the evidence because the evidence that they have, let's just say for argument's sake that it is evidence of the video footage in the house. The reason why they argued that they didn't release this is because there are victims in it, and it's the type of videos that nobody wants to see. I don't think anybody's asking to see that, right? No, nobody's asking to see that. But if there are other things that happen on this island, why don't you show those? There's a champagne party. They're, I don't know, celebrating Ghislaine Maxwell's 39th birthday. Why don't you show that? You know why? Because first off, I don't think those types of parties existed. One and two, there's going to be a lot of people on that footage. Like, oh shit, and you know how like they zoom in on movies? I don't know how they do this. You can't do this in real life. I've tried this with like an e-bike video where they zoom in and it's all of a sudden crystal clear. Let me get a 3000 magnification on that. It's all pixelated. It's like 2 pixels, but then it forms a perfect face. Oh, that's Mr. Rogers. That's there he is out there in the middle of Iraq, with all his Navy SEAL buddies. But I think that's why you don't see that footage. But there is the okay. So if the argument is that the evidence that's on there, right? I've heard this. I don't know about 300 gigabytes, but if there's evidence that's on there of cameras, right? Where is that footage? Where is it? Because there's a video I watched where there was a camera in the middle of a driveway, whatever, in 2020. Was that put up afterwards? Was that put up before? Because there was cameras on the outside of the house, right? I feel like he's like me, like creeper mode, but that's my house. So, I'd set boundaries, and that's the limits of my house. Don't cross those boundaries. But anyway, so if you have footage of all that, why can we not see just release some footage from 2015 of the helipad? You have nothing. You have no footage. Hmm. Nothing weird going on up there. Yeah. So, oh, absolutely, Burning Beard. There's people. You're not going to tell me that there's not people there that I'm not trying to be selective. I want to have calculated things come out of my mouth. I just don't want to shoot off the hip and just say bad stuff because we're not really sure. Really, all I care about, honestly, is I don't even care about the list. I don't. I I I don't give a shit who's on it. All I care about if Trump is on it and he is the president of the United States. I don't care about Jeff Bezos being on it, Bill Gates. I don't care. Bill Clinton, whatever. They are powerful people with stupid money. Should something happen to them? Should something happen to them? Should something happen to them? Yes, but what was I? Sorry, I had a phone call. Should something happen to him? Yes, but if Trump is on there, I want to know why Trump went there. That's it. That's all that I want. That's it. P Diddy went. No, he had his own parties. And I will say this. You know what? I do want to add one more thing too. The Ghislaine Maxwell chick, right? If she gets pardoned, right? What does that say? 'Cause you know she can only be pardoned by one person. What happens? Coincidence? Yeah. Forget a conspiracy. Just forget it. What does that tell you? Just common sense, common knowledge. Just looking at it. Ghislaine Maxwell is locked up for things associated with Epstein. She gets out. What does that tell you? Just looking at it. She's out of jail. Why? She was planted there. Yes, it was all plant. That tells me if she gets out that she knows something. All right, you had the attorney general or some attorney from the Department of Justice went to go see her and sit down with her. I don't know if that happened or not. And she's going to sit in front of Congress. I also don't know if that's going to happen or if that was just rumors. Excuse me, but that tells me that somebody knows something. And they want to make sure old girl keeps her mouth closed because if she was to disappear like Epstein did, well, he didn't disappear. If she was just to simply not exist anymore, now you're going to raise a lot of flags. Like now, some shit is happening. You got to get rid of those loose ends, man. No matter what, though, no matter what names, let's just say she dropped five millionaire, billionaires' names. You don't think that those billionaires are not gonna do some shit like mention the other billionaires? You think that they're gonna be the fall guys? I thought about that. Let's take the five lowest net worth liquid asset people and just drop their names. You don't think that they're gonna drop other names? Oh, they will. I mean, look, did anybody follow the P. Diddy case? They were dropping names left and right. I feel like they were going to make a rap album when they were done with that concert. They were bars everywhere and in front of P. Diddy. Oh, but yeah, but still, like, you don't want to start dropping those names. I think those are the first people that will throw you underneath the bus. I got nothing to lose. I only got 12 million in the bank account. So, I'm 75. You know, it'd be something crazy if, like, 40 years from now, all these people are dead and then the list drops. Kind of like the JFK thing, but the JFK thing, that shit dropped and nobody got any information, right? Like, we got this whole pamphlet and we know less now than we did before. The Mars land or the moon landing is fake. Nobody knows anything anymore. I don't know. It's for some reason I got stupider after reading it. I don't know. It's just weird, man. Yeah. The least amount of people that could know knows. It's just wild, man. And that's the thing, man, is I don't really, aside from what, I mean, you could really I'm not a big fan of conspiracy theories. I'm not, but you could really get into it. Did you guys see that video with the 1 minute where they said it was more than 1 minute gone? They looked at the metadata of the video to see that there was something like 2 minutes and 50 seconds missing? If the Department of Justice has all the files, let me do that again. If the Department of Justice has all the files, how did they not see that 2 minutes and 58 seconds were missing out of that? Unless, of course, you have something to hide or your people are not talented enough. Because some dude from some independent thing did it. So, but you're going on TV, national TV, and saying that it was a minute, it was normal. Man, I don't know. I don't know what the hell is happening with the government. Yeah, I think like 2 minutes and 50 seconds or something. And it's all wild. I hope for Trump's sake he was actually not on that island and he can. And that's the thing too is I don't know how you go about proving something you didn't do. You can have an alibi, but you can't prove something that didn't happen. You can only prove something that did happen. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. We're at some point in time, maybe in 10 years from now, we're gonna get normal politics and they're not gonna have anything to talk about. So I guess soak it all in now, love it, listen to all the content. And let me say this too before I sign off. I think a lot of people, when you watch all these whatever names you follow online, because years, right? Years, people have been creating content for years and years, and there's all these things they pull back. Don't just watch one thing, right? And read or watch the whole thing in context. For instance, if you go watch that Hunter Biden thing, that interview with Andrew Callahan, regardless of how much you dislike Biden, how much you dislike his son, I suggest you sit through that 3 hours and you watch that. I have never been so captivated by somebody that was being interviewed. Never, never. Because you hear the other side that everybody was against. And when you hear that side and you hear all those stories, it doesn't all mesh well. It doesn't. And that's it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And when I have more stuff and more opinions, I'll let you know. Keep in mind that I'm a realist. I don't do this to hurt anybody's feelings, although that happens just by default. But hopefully you enjoyed this stream. You guys all stay beautiful.